Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, December 17th, 2021. Welcome to our Zoom holiday party. Thank you all for participating today. Yes, Bob, thank you for that sitting ovation. And I want to welcome my co-hosts today, Bob Gastisha, Carol Friedman's here, and Steve Costello. Thank you very much for helping me out. I appreciate it. As I say, we are still in a pandemic situation over at Century Village. And until that situation has been resolved, I would venture to say, without taking a poll, that most of you would not want to return to that classroom. Is that accurate? I think it is. And until then, we will continue to do Zoom classes until it becomes unnecessary to do so. But right now you can enjoy the comforts of being home with your coffee or whatever, dressed however, and you don't have to worry about traffic, bad weather, unforeseen accidents, and all the other things that prevented you from getting up and going to the classroom and traveling. So Zoom has become a big comfort to people. That's why it's ballooned in popularity since the pandemic began. Okay. So we have a lot of stuff for you today in a variety of things. So let me start off here. I'd like to share one screen with you real quickly. I hope this is the right one. Okay. This is one that I made up specially years ago because we don't look the same, but I hope you get the idea. Okay?
Oh, how lovely.
Yeah, good.
Good. All
That's
right.
great.
All right. Let's talk right now briefly about what your plans are for Christmas and New Year's, how you're going to be spending it. Somebody's got background noise there, please.
Barry, can I interrupt for a moment? It's Ada who is having a problem getting on. She just texted me.
Okay, well, we can't do anything for her right now. Bob,
Okay.
maybe it'd be good if we just mute everybody at this stage and then go ahead and mute everybody. And if you have something to say, we'll go around and or raise your hand and we'll discuss it. Okay?
Which means you'll have to unmute yourself, Barry.
All right, there we go. I'd like to ask everybody what you plan to do over Christmas and New Year's. Do you plan to be with your family? Do you plan to go to any special parties? Do you plan to do any special shopping? As you know, this Saturday coming up is one of the biggest shopping days of the year, the Saturday before Christmas. It's getting very close. All right, would anyone like to volunteer? Okay, Marcia, what are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to be very busy, and I will tell you why. But first, I do want to mention, since people are figuring how to spend the holidays, here in Century Village, you now can bring guests to the satellite pools and you can bring guests to the movies, but not to the shows, not to the live shows. So just for information for everybody. And other than that, for the holidays, I will be spending with family down here. My daughter's family one daughter's family comes to Orlando for Christmas week. And we will go up for a day and see them. And when we come back down, we will be bringing our 19-year-old grandson with us for a few days here. But then he has to return because he's working at the Coin and Currency Show in Orlando. And we also have down here my daughter, my granddaughter, my 19-year-old granddaughter from the other part of the family. And then in the middle of all that, I get a niece visiting from Israel. So we have to try and coordinate all of that. It'll be fun to do though, even if it's tricky to coordinate.
Thank you for sharing. Anyone else like to share?
Yes, I'd like to share.
Go ahead, Steve.
I'm going to be doing just the same as my medical doctor couple up north is going to do in their brand new house, and that is spend it alone because of what's going on with the COVID thing. It's no joke. It's replicating every 2 to 3 days, doubling in size. And so I'll be doing the same thing they're doing as my doctor recommends to not have people over. But his kids are coming over, but they are going to have a rapid test before they enter the house. So that's another, if a guest coming.
And by
to
the
other
way,
people-
Steve, let's wish you a belated happy birthday.
Thank you
Happy
very much.
birthday.
Thank you
And
so much.
you know firsthand because your wife Chantel is a nurse at the hospital, right?
Oh, it's terrible. I mean, she's so exhausted. It's ridiculous. And so are other medical people. She's been to see a few doctors and they're all fatigued. And she actually was injured by one because he was so fatigued. And it's just a terrible thing to try to take care of these people. And getting together is not going to be, a good idea even this Christmas because this variant is throwing a blank on everything. Jackson Memorial Hospital is changing their policy for visiting, and people are locking down again. It's a shame. It's got to happen at this beautiful time of year.
Anyone
Is
else
that-
like to volunteer? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Is that here in Florida?
It's all over the country. You see the map. Everybody's got that Omicron.
Yes, I
Except a
know it's
few
all over
northern
the
states.
country. I was just asking if the hospital your wife works at is down here in South Florida.
Yes, they're going to have to lock down too because that's how people are getting infected by visitors coming in there, spreading it to the patient, and the patient spreading it to the nurses. And that's they gotta stop that because it happened before, and they don't want it to happen again.
Okay, on a happier note, would anyone like to share some cheer or spirit or what you're going to do? Kenneth? Kenneth, unmute yourself, please.
I think, yeah, okay. I've been thinking about having, as a lot of Jewish people do, going out for Chinese food with my family, as long as we're going to find a place that has dine-in on Christmas Day. And for New Year's, I'm going to the show on the Clubhouse, a tribute to Queen. So I'm looking forward to
Great.
that.
I know some people that do that. They go to a Chinese restaurant with several groups of people and they divide them into group A and group B. Okay, Helene,
You're muted.
you're muted, dear. You're muted.
I'm also going to that Queen tribute, Kenneth. But then afterward, I'm going with some friends to a neighbor's condo, and we're going to bring in the new year. So that's what we're doing.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, Mary Louise,
You're muted.
you're muted, dear. You're still muted.
Unmute. Okay, now I got it. Okay, Christmas Eve, we've been invited to some friends' house, and they're Italian and they're having something called the Seven Fishes. I got to inquire about it, but this is what they do on Christmas Eve. So that should be interesting. And Christmas Day, we always have it at my house, and I have my daughter here and my daughter-in-law. So whatever they want to cook, they can cook. And they just tell me little things that I'm supposed to do. So it makes it easy. And we usually have more people, but we still will have a crowd. But it was for Thanksgiving. It'll be about the same, and it was very lovely.
Great. Ron,
Ron?
Yeah, I just keep my mouth shut and pay attention and go along with the program.
I know in New Year's what you're gonna do. Football.
No, I'll
No?
probably be in bed by 10 o'clock.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We'll watch the Rose Bowl parade and New Year's, but New Year's Eve, I think the kids are gonna come over here and we'll do something. I'm not sure.
That's wonderful. Anybody else like to contribute?
Yeah.
Jules, are you there?
Simon has his hand up.
Oh, Simon, thanks for joining us. How are you?
Thanks, Barry. Very well. Hi, everyone. Unfortunately, my wife and I are still a little paranoid. So with the magic of Zoom, we'll be Zooming with a lot of family and friends throughout the holidays. So that's the silver lining of COVID. We have discovered a vehicle that can still keep us connected while far away from one another.
Oh, that's wonderful. Anybody else? Okay. Today I wanted to show you some iPhone tips. How many of you are Apple users? Raise your hand. Okay. Hopefully you updated to the latest version. Okay, let's mute everybody, Bob, including me for a minute. Okay, let me share my screen here. We're going to go over to the iPhone, iPad. And let me get this thing set up here. Okay, we're going to share in a second, I hope. Okay. There we go. Right? All right. So now we're going to talk about what you should have done. And the first thing you should have done is go over to your settings and then go down to General and over to, click the arrow and go to Software Update. And when you click that, you should see this 15.2. It was just released a couple of days ago, and it's very important to use. There are so many features with it. I'll talk a little bit about it later on, but I want to get into something else. A lot of us have apps that automatically will update themselves when a new operating system or software update is released. That may not always be the case. And what you need to do is to make sure that not only have you updated your software to the latest version, but you may find that apps sometimes won't work because you haven't updated the apps to the latest version. So here's the way to find out. It's very simple. You go to your screen and everybody has the App Store. You click on it. Here you can see everything. You see my profile picture here. You tap on your profile picture. Whoops, sorry, wrong one. You tap on your profile picture here, and then it takes you over to show you everything that you purchased, what subscriptions you have, and then you scroll down to where it shows you updates. This is my iPhone 11 that I'm using, so you can see it on the screen. And you'll see that there are 38 apps that need to be updated. Now you can click the button to update them all, or you can update just the ones you want by just tapping on the update button. And you can see these are all the apps that I have on my phone. I think I've got 170 of them. You may have less or more. Some people I know have 300 or more, but you can update them all at the same time. Now, remember, when you're doing these things, going to your software update or updating your apps on your phone or even your iPad works the same way, pretty much. you must be connected to power, at least 50% charge on your device, and have it connected, because otherwise it can drain the battery sometimes when you're going down and using an update. So you need to have it connected, and you need to have it at least 50% power to perform the updates. Now, if let's say I just want to update one, I just tap the update button, and it's only going to update that one app. Then it moves to the next one. But if you're going to update all 37, that's going to take some time. But I think that gets the general idea of what I wanted to present. Okay. This next tip is amazingly useful, and I'll tell you how from a story that I never expected to be giving right now. We're going to discuss how to add a COVID vaccination card to the iPhone Notes app. When I got my booster shot a while ago, I was supposed to go to Publix and bring my vaccination card. Well, guess what? I misplaced it. So I had to go to the pharmacist, and they looked up all of the information for me. And what he did was he made another vaccination card. So he said, okay, bring this with you tomorrow, because I had lost the appointment, and bring it in, and we'll, get it done. And then I found the old card, and I thought to myself, if you want to protect your paper vaccination card, which should not be laminated, and create an easy accessible copy as a backup, it's best to scan the COVID vaccine card right into your phone. And that way, all you have to do when you go to a pharmacist, or anywhere else for that matter, or a business card, all you have to do is scan it. Now I'm using the word scan. I know it's easier to take a screenshot of it, which is another way you can get it into your phone, but I'm going to show you how to use the Notes app today. So you could save it as a printable PDF, a portable document format, which is the universal extension for sending those types of documents across the world. So you can save your card to your Apple Wallet. Now we're going to open the Notes app right here. Everybody's got it on your phone. Okay, you're going to scroll down to the bottom. Over here in the right-hand corner, you're going to click that, which opens up a new note. And you see a whole bunch of options there. Well, one of these options, you see a camera. Now, when you click on that camera, it's going to open up a menu, and you go to Scan Documents. I now take my phone off, and I push the document right into view. I'm not sure exactly where it's going right now. Let me move it a little better. Okay. And it took a scan of it. And that's what it looks like right there. I didn't do it exactly the way I wanted to, because I was holding the phone at the same time, and I'm trying to run the mouse. So I apologize for that. Now you can take that and you can hold that as a record. I don't want to use an actual vaccination card, of course, because of privacy issues, but that's the way it's done. So if you don't like it, you can simply retake it. You can say done, and you can try again. Let me try again and see if I can get it exactly right. And I advise you to put it on a white surface. Okay. So you can really see it clearly. And just turn it around a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. There you go. That's a better picture. And now I can just save it. And that way, when I click done, it goes into the Notes app. Watch. All right. So now I can swipe up, go back to my Notes app. I'm going to discard my scans for now. And let's see if I've still got it. I'm in a folder. I'm in a recently deleted section. See, I just scanned one. And there it is. Or I put it here. Nope, I deleted that one. Okay, sorry. And there it is. Now you can arrange it if you want. There are some things there that will allow you to adjust it. But that's one of the best ways I know of to place a business card or a vaccination card into the app. Of course, the alternative is simply just go to your camera and just get down on the photo like that, if you're close enough, and hit your photo button. And now you got a screenshot. Okay, and then when you go up, you can edit it. And you can hit the crop button there on the bottom. You can straighten it out. That was the button I hit here. And then you can simply run the edges up. There we go. It's not a perfect shot, but it has the information you need there. So if that were a vaccination card, it's a little large, but you can, move it down. Okay. Did everybody understand that pretty well? All right. Did everybody understand that? Raise your hand. Good. I hope you keep that in mind, especially very valuable tip for when you're using a vaccination card, a business card, or anything else someone gives you that you want to keep a record of, so you don't have to carry the actual document with you all the time. Any questions?
Yeah, yes.
Yes, Kenneth.
Back to the first couple of steps on scanning the card. You go to the notes,
Mm-hmm.
and then
You go to
You-
notes, and then,
Notes.
and then you go to the lower right-hand corner and you click that little box there in the lower right-hand corner, which will open up the note, a new note.
okay,
And then you'll see the option there to click the camera icon in the center.
okay,
That gives you an option to scan the document, select the scan option.
okay. Scan camera scan option.
Right, click it.
Oh,
You see it? Scan document.
I'm not actually there
All right, hold on.
on my own, but
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do it
Okay.
again for you.
okay.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna back to mirror the screen a second. All right. Okay, let's go back here a second. It's okay. Can't spend too much time on this, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I know.
But let's go back here and I'll show you what I was talking about. There's your notes. All right,
Okay.
let me back off from the whole thing. I'll go right out. Okay, go back to your notes. And when you go down to the bottom right here, see that?
Yes,
You're
open
gonna-
a new note.
Open a new note, go to the camera,
Okay,
click the camera, and now you see scan documents here.
okay,
You touch that. And now you position whatever document you have in view. It may do it
Okay.
automatically, okay? And then you
Okay.
hit that button here, right here. Or it
So-
may start scanning automatically.
the,
All right.
the circular button.
Right,
Okay,
that's it, okay?
okay, okay.
All right. That
Marcia
being
has-
said, yes, Marcia, go ahead.
Yeah, a couple of things. One, I wanted to thank you for the reminder when you were talking about updating, because as soon as you said to check for your updates, I realized my phone was only on 15.1 and I started to update it. And then you said it should be plugged in. And so I quickly plugged it in because otherwise it was having a problem. So
Right.
thanks for the timely reminder. And
You're,
two, I use Google's Keep to take pictures, and my husband thought he had lost his card from the 2 early vaccines. and
yes,
Fortunately, I had taken a picture of it and I put it into Keep. As it happens, he found his just in time anyway, but I did have the pictures of both our cards. But
right.
what
And
you're
you can,
what you're suggesting is an interesting angle, because that one, since you say you'd scan it, you can save it as a
PDF.
file, a PDF file, whereas mine doesn't get saved as a PDF. The reason I use Keep is because Keep can show up on any of the platforms, whether it's Apple or
Okay,
Now-
Marcia, how about this? One of the classes next year, I'm going to let you do Google Keep. How's that?
okay.
You got it next year. Okay,
Okay.
let's move on to our next presenter, who is Steve Costello, who is very well known to many of us, who used to attend all of his computer meetings in Boca Raton. He's been the president for 10 years or more of the Boca Raton Computer Society, which unfortunately went defunct a few years ago. And he was also president of the Broward County Broward Personal Computer Association that met out in John Knox Village, that had many of our friends there that have since unfortunately passed on. But one of the things that's for those of you who are avid readers like Steve is, he's going to tell you about a website and a program of which he is quite an expert on. So Steve, take it away.
All right, let me get my screen share up. Okay, can you all see it?
Yep.
Okay, this is a little program. The address is goodreads.com. It's where I keep track of books I've read, I want to read, and like that. I used to have a big 3-ring binder that I kept everything in. I had to keep going back and forth. This is much easier. I can just search and find whatever I want. First, I'm going to show you the home. Well, you do have to sign up for this. It is free, and it is hooked into your Amazon if you have an Amazon account. First thing I'll show you is the home screen. This is where I spend a lot of time each morning. On the left side, it shows you what I'm currently reading. I usually update first thing in the morning by percentage. If it's an ebook, it goes by percentages. If it's a print book, it goes by the page numbers. Underneath that, it shows you where I'm at in my reading challenge for the year. This year I had said I wanted to read 200. So far I'm at 237 and counting. Under that, it has various ones that I have marked that I want to read in the future. So that if I'm going along, I can just, okay, that's one I want. Bam, I'll start reading that. Under that, it lists all my bookshelves. The want to read, where you show 7, that's where I keep things that are put in from the Google giveaways, which I'll show you later on in here, how the giveaways work. My currently reading is the same as the one that was at the top. It shows my read shelf shows I've read 3,073 so far. I've abandoned 324. What that means is I started the book. I didn't like it the way they wrote. I didn't like what the story was, whatever. Just, I got so many books, I don't spend time if it's not going for me. I have 3,414 right now that I want to read. They're either Kindle books or something I have on my bookshelf in the back. And then under that, it's all broken down by the different genre that I read. Action, adult fiction, adventure, alternative history. There's all kinds. I'll read almost anything except romance for some reason. And that takes you through that section. In the middle, today it's given me, I can reflect on what I read during the year. I keep up on it, so I don't really need that. Under that is updates from various friends that I have gotten through this. Okay, just show me what they've read, what they like. Then they have the choice awards. During the year, people vote on books that they think are the best books of the year. And this one, you can go and see who the winners were. You can go to goodreads.com without having an account, but you just won't be able to see my information. Under that, I have a recommendation based on what I've been reading. There's somebody that come up and they tell me, well, you might want to read this. News and interviews, I don't do anything with that. And then underneath, there's a bunch of information about Goodreads and how to get there. Also a link to the Google Play or the App Store, because there is an app you can have on your phone or your tablet. It works a little different, but I use it if I'm out and I see a book, I say, did I read that? Or do I want to read that? And then I can look up in my files and see what I've got. I'm running kind of fast on this. So
That's all right. We have time, Steve.
okay, then there's the My Book section, which you can probably tell is where I keep track of my books. Once again, you have the bookshelves listed, and the all, if I click that, it shows me all, whether I've read it, I haven't read it, I've abandoned it, whatever. And then how many books are in each one of my shelves. Also, that's whether I've read it or haven't read it. But I can say I wanted to, I keep them separated by library and ebook. So this will show me all the ebooks I've got, whether I've read them or not. As you can tell, I can rate them. I can edit it. I can view the whole thing, whatever I want to do. I keep this sorted by date added. That way I can keep going on. But if I want to say I wanted a particular author and I wanted to see whether I've read it or not, I would say by date read, and then all the ones that haven't been read will show up at the top. Everybody with me so far?
Yeah. How do you read that many books? What do you have a schedule as to how many you're going to read, or how do you pick
No,
the
I
ones that you
just
select?
read a lot. Well, once again, you go by recommendations, and I believe that's under the browse menu. I can go for recommendations, and once again, over on this side, it'll give me. I don't want to recommend the ones I've abandoned because I don't want anything like that again. But
What
say I
about?
want fantasy, it'll give me. It'll give me different fantasy books, and I can either put want to read, not interested, whichever.
What format are these in, Steve?
I use either EPUB or Mobi on the ebooks.
So this would work on a Kindle or on a Fire tablet or anything like that that
Yes.
supports Kindle?
Yes, but if you get EPUBs, then you'll need another program to convert it to a Mobi format for the Kindle.
What would that be? Caliber?
Yes, Caliber.
Uh-huh.
Which I use all CALIBRE.
Right.
It's a very good program. I get a lot of my books from independent authors. I subscribe to a bunch of different ones that give me free books, and I'll usually get it in EPUB and put it over, because I can read EPUB, I can read it in Google Play, I can read it on anything but Kindle.
I see there's something about a community. How does that work?
That I really don't get into that.
Okay.
But under the browse, I also have, there's the choice of words. Now the giveaways, I remember I talked about it in the beginning. I get a lot of books this way too. Every morning I go through and I sort it by recent and filters. I only do Kindle only because I can't read regular print books anymore. I get large print at the library or at the Kindle books. I sort it and it'll give me different ones I can enter the giveaway. There's a bunch of terms and conditions you have to agree to.
I see.
Let's see, if I wanted this one, I would just go into it. Because I'm signed in, it has all my information ready.
Mhm.
It'll tell me what it is, what it's about. All I have to do is click here and click here, and it'll automatically put in my want to read
Okay,
file. That I go later, if I haven't won it, I go and I see if I can find it at the library or from one of my other places.
okay. Does anyone have any questions to ask Steve on his presentation?
Dorothy
Okay,
has her hand up.
okay, Dorothy.
Sure.
Is there also audio books available?
You can keep track of them in there, yeah.
Okay,
Just anything you read, you want to keep magazines, you can keep track of that in there also.
And you say there's an app called Goodreads on the Apple, in the Apple App Store, as well as the Google Play
Correct.
Store?
Correct.
Do you use any of those mobile versions on your phone?
Oh, yeah. That's, like I said, when I'm out and about, say I'm at a thrift store and I see a book. Okay, have I read it? Do I want to read it? Is it one I'm looking for? I just look it up. I don't have my phone here set up to where I can show you that.
So you can probably scan a book or something inside.
Yes,
I
you
guess.
can scan by the ISBN numbers. You can scan the cover. You can just look up by the author. Let me see if I got my books here. Hold on. Anybody got an author you want to see if I've read?
Mm. John Grisham.
Oh, John Grisham. Okay. Okay. I just put it in my search in the My Books ones. I'll hit enter. It'll go through and show me. I just read the judges list recently. It's a decent book. And you can see some I've read, some I've abandoned because I just didn't care for it. You can write a review.
And there's a long list on the left, which gives you almost every genre you can pick for reading.
I said just about everything but romance.
Right.
Now, the ones I do get from the giveaways, or I get from some of the sites that I have signed up to for free books, if I get one, I will put it in my to review section.
Okay.
So that I remember when I do read it, write a review so that I'm supporting the author.
Okay.
If I have a 2-star review, I usually don't post it anywhere but to give it to the author themselves.
Is it possible to bookmark it so that you know where you left off in a certain publication and then come back to that page?
No, this is just keeping track of them. Oh, everything else is done in the Kindle app.
Okay, great.
It automatically, if I'm reading it on my phone because I'm at the doctor's office, I don't have my Kindle with me. It'll take me right to where I left off on my Kindle.
Great, Steve. Thank you
Which
very
is-
much.
which
Does
is a good
anyone
thing
have
about
any?
Kindle.
Does anyone else have any more questions? Okay, thank you very much, Steve. You can stop sharing your screen. Appreciate
Okay,
very
will
much your
do.
attending, and thank you for being
No
here as my
problem.
co-host.
No
Okay,
I
problem.
did have a question about it.
go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
I use Goodreads also, but I only have about 500 books showing on it.
Oh, that's fine.
And I didn't know about, I see a section on the page you had up there where it said Goodreads giveaways.
Right, hold on,
and-
I'll go right back there, hold on.
Okay, that's what I wanted the information on. For giveaways, I not only use Overdrive, I also use BookBub. And
Yes,
that
BookBub,
that
BookBub
gives
is
you
another one.
listings, yes, and that gives you listings of books at reduced prices, but every day they also have at least one freebie. And that's what I always take, only the freebies.
Boy, Marcia, am I going to use you as an instructor next year?
No, I don't know about that.
If you use that, you can also use Book Doggy,
Book Doggy?
bookdoggy.com. And plus they have, you can enter to win a tablet or a Kindle, whatever they've got. And Book Doggy is kind of like BookBub, telling you different books you can get.
Could you spell that second word?
Doggy, D-O-G-G-Y.
Oh, okay. It sounded, on mine, it sounded like it started with a G. So
No,
I
yeah.
thought maybe because it was Goodreads, it was Goodreads Goggy, but okay.
No,
So-
goodreads.com. Book
Thank you.
Doggy looks like this.
Okay, great. I will look
Okay.
into that. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. We're going to move on to the next presenter, who is well known to all of us, my good friend Bob Gastisha. Bob does more videos, I think, than YouTube can handle. It's amazing what he's done. He's going to start talking about something that is an issue to all of us, not only for Android users, but this will also apply to iPhone users. So Bob, take it away.
You got it.
So why do phones get hot? This happens to both Android and iPhones. Unfortunately, there's no single answer to this question. Sometimes phones get hot as a result of too many apps running in the background. A bad battery or other hardware problems also can't be ruled out. Other times it's because of a malware infection. Here's the thing, all phones can and usually will get a little hot from time to time. But it becomes a problem when your phone heats up to the point where you can't even hold it, or it begins to exhibit odd behavior. There are several reasons why this could happen. The problem is sometimes identifying the culprit. There are some telltale signs you can use to determine why your phone is heating up. First of, heating can be caused by faulty hardware, but it can also be triggered by software glitches. There are three main areas in a phone that generate heat: the battery, CPU, and the screen. When a phone gets hot, the battery is usually the first place to look, even more so if the heat is coming from the back of the phone. Modern lithium-ion batteries are extremely powerful, which is why they sometimes get hot. The heat causes the battery to vent its organic solvents, which could ignite from too much heat or a spark. The infamous Samsung Galaxy S7 explosions were caused by faulty batteries. That's why they recalled 2.5 million units. If the heating is coming from the front of the screen, however, it may be due to the phone's CPU or GPU. Both of these components create heat as a byproduct of operation. So when the processor is in demand, the heat production increases accordingly. Likewise, if you are noticing heat coming from the bottom of your phone, there is a very good chance there is an issue with the charging unit. The question is, how hot is hot? Remember, all phones get hot. But how can you tell if your phone is experiencing a problem? All phones have a normal temperature range of 37 to 43 degrees Celsius or 98.6 to 109.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Since we don't yet have a thermostat in our fingers, We must use our best guess to judge when it might be a good time to stop binging on YouTube videos and let your phone catch its breath. You can also check out apps such as Ada64 and Cooling Master, which both work wonders here. While Ada64 can tell you almost everything you need to know about your phone, Cooling Master is specifically designed to detect overheating in phones and stop it by halting the apps that are throttling it. Another cool app is CPU-Z, which is especially designed to detect CPU heating. So why do phones get hot? Let's say you have a phone that is literally too hot to handle. Here are several more reasons why it might be happening. You're a gamer. A lot. Come on, don't tell us you haven't binged on Clash of Clans or one of the many Tetris knockoffs on your way to work or on a lazy Sunday. Much like PC, gaming on a smartphone taxes the CPU and GPU to their limits, which causes them to generate a lot of heat. While the occasional gaming sessions won't kill your phone, those spanning several hours are not recommended without frequent breaks. It could also be because you're running too many background apps. As you minimize your Gmail app to check out Facebook, you are not actually turning it off. Rather, your Gmail is still active in the background. Ditto that for every app you minimize. The more apps you have running in the background, the harder your system has to work to maintain them. Background apps aren't typically a problem. However, if you never go into settings and turn them off, they could turn into one. Binging on streaming videos. Yes, unfortunately, binging on YouTube or Netflix for season-long sessions is just as detrimental to your phone's health as marathon gaming. Truth be told, anything that keeps your screen lit for long periods of time and uses your phone's GPU will cause the device to heat up. Maybe your settings aren't optimized. Turning the brightness way up, collecting all those widgets and 3D wallpapers, and using the sleep setting for a long session of audio or video are all rather taxing on a phone's performance. If your phone is heating up, it might be a good idea to dial down the eye candy and see if that helps. You didn't really leave that phone in the sun, did you? Because, well, exposing an object to direct heat means things are going to get hot, period. Apps and operating system issues. Certain bugs in apps can cause your phone to overheat or misbehave. Same goes for your phone's operating system because these apps have to run on different types of devices using different configurations and operating systems. They may act optimally on some, less so on others. The best way to stop them from malfunctioning is to keep them updated. The biggest challenge of them all, malware. Since malicious apps are usually unoptimized pieces of code, they hog your phone's CPU and memory, throttling them and generating a lot of heat. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum are also on the suspect list. While most everyone's heard of them, what few people know is that the sudden onslaught of cryptocurrency has spawned a dark industry. Mining cryptocurrency takes a lot of processing power, and miners are often torn between the cost required to mine the coins and the market value of the coins themselves. One of the easier and more nefarious ways of mining is cryptojacking, where a hacker takes over a system's processing power and uses it to mine cryptocurrency without informing the user. Cryptojacking is so popular that it has become an even more potent threat than ransomware. Here are some tips to cool your phone down. Often the reason your phone heats up is due to several different issues, not just one, and here are some tips to help you drop the temperature. First, never put your phone in the freezer. Suddenly introducing your phone to radically different temperature ranges can cause the screen to crack and the system to experience hardware issues. Similarly, putting a phone in the fridge will cause condensation both in and out of its shell, which can damage electronic components. It may be time to turn off that app. If you notice your phone heating up after you turn on a certain app, shut it down by first minimizing it, then going to Settings, Apps, Running Apps, and then tap the app you want to shut down, touch Stop, or force Stop. Maybe you need to remove the case. A skin or phone cover can act as insulation, causing a buildup of heat. Remove it to let the phone cool off. If the problem persists, use the phone without it. Run the phone on low power. On Android, look for battery saver mode. Turn off unnecessary settings. Too often people leave GPS, Bluetooth, or Wi-Fi options turned on, even when they don't need them. Turning off unneeded apps can end overheating and save battery life. Better still, turn on airplane mode when you don't plan on using your phone. Get rid of junk. Trash not only the apps you don't use, but also junk data that useful apps keep collecting as well. Avast Cleanup for Android can help you out here. Turn the brightness down or turn on adaptive brightness. Keep your apps up to date. Updating is essentially another name for optimizing. The more optimized an app is, the fewer resources it uses, which translates to less of a likelihood that it will heat up your phone. Change that charging cable. Occasionally, a faulty charging cable can cause the charging unit to malfunction. If the heat is mostly concentrated around the cable port, then you might consider switching to another cable. Here's a tip on how to prevent overheating in the first place. Start with an antivirus. This is your bouncer at the door, making sure nothing harmful gets in to heat up the place, including cryptojacking malware. A robust cybersecurity software like Avast Free Antivirus blocks the malware on the spot, as well as alerts you if a website you try to visit is infected. Take the step to protect yourself and your hardware. Also, keep in mind the earlier advice, especially the commandment not to leave your phone in direct sunlight. Depending on how strong the sun is beating down, your phone could overheat very quickly. For example, if you leave it on your dashboard in the car. Always be cognizant of where you place it, so it doesn't get fried when you're not looking. If we treat our phones with care, they'll continue to serve us well for a long time. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Great job, Bob. Great job, as always.
Thank you.
Any questions? Raise your hand if you have any questions, please. Is everybody muted?
Yeah, Bob, I have a question.
Okay.
How do you gauge the fact of protecting your phone with a case or letting it overheat with the case on? How do you balance those two?
I'm sure you're very upset about that. That's what I thought.
There's
Somebody on there who has their mic on.
Yep. And I haven't seen yet who it is.
Okay,
I have a question.
It's a balance, Kenneth, that's a balancing act. When your phone starts to get hot, and if removing the case solves the problem, then I would not be using that case. Find a different one.
especially those magnetic cases can do it. Those mag cases that they use that use magnetic activity can be a problem. And also, Bob, is 5G heat up the phone as well, if it has 5G on it?
No, but what you will have is if you turn 5G on and there is no 5G, then it constantly searches for a 5G signal.
So that, yes, that can have some impact on heat. It definitely has an impact on your battery because it's constantly searching. So if there is no 5G available, turn off 5G and go back to 4G, which is what you're using. A 5G phone only has 5G if it's available. If it's not available, it's a battery drainer.
Now, if you leave your phone on a car seat or the dashboard, it will automatically turn off. And you may have trouble restarting it until it cools down again. That's a temporary fail-safe that's built into the iPhone, especially the newer ones. I did leave my phone on a car seat once and I went into the store. And when I came back, the phone wouldn't turn on. I had to take it home and leave it in a cool place, not in the freezer, of course, or the refrigerator, but just leave it in a cooler room. And in about 5 or 10 minutes, when it got back to normal temperature, it started again. But you may not be so lucky.
Correct. If you do that for too long, it's never going to come back
Right.
because you've totally just overheated your phone. You fried the phone is what you did.
Bob,
Right.
I have a question. Bob,
Go ahead.
I've asked this to other times, not to the club, but is leaving your phone plugged in, charging too long, not a good, will that make it heat up? Or taking it uncharging, will that decrease the heat?
Not heat, but the life of the battery. Your battery should never be lower than 20%, then it really shouldn't get higher than 80%. Now, most phones have a built-in safety net in that when they tell you they're at 100, they really aren't at 100, okay? They don't allow it to get to 100 because that decreases the life of the battery.
If you look on your iPhone, that's all I could tell you about. Go to the battery section, battery health, where it is, battery under settings. And then you'll see an item on the bottom that says optimize battery, which means it will start to go into low power mode automatically after it reaches a certain point. With a lithium ion battery, it has a memory. So you want to let it go down to about 20%. If you let it go down on an iPhone below 20% or even 10%, you'll see a red notification that it's going to shut off pretty soon. So you want to keep it optimized. Charge it up to 100%, but don't leave it on 100% all night because that can ruin the battery.
Okay, well, I'm on my iPhone for this club
Yes.
since 10 to 10, and I could feel the heat. The iPhone is heating up.
Right.
After the class is over, is it advisable to take it to uncharge? And I'm plugged in too.
Unplug it.
It's not heating up because it's plugged in.
No.
It's heating up because you're using the phone. Your screen is on the whole time. Okay, that's what's causing it to heat up.
So
not
do you
the fact
think
that it's plugged in?
Okay, do you think it's advisable for me right now to unplug it? Or
No.
should I wait?
No.
You can still handle the phone.
Yeah, it's not burning or anything. But I mean,
That's
it's
fine.
warm.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that there was in the news, Bob, that phones exploded, remember, on aircraft?
Yep.
And I mean, that's very possible because these components, are like human beings, we're fragile and we can destroy ourselves internally if we're not careful. For example, eating the wrong foods or whatever. It's equivalent to having a meltdown, in an electronic device. So you just have to use common sense. Okay, Bob, thank you very much. The next thing our expert is going to show us, and Bob is considered the tech and security expert by many, is the new program that Avast has. And I know a lot of you use Avast. I highly recommend it and use it. I know you may see other things that say otherwise, but I think seeing and using is believing. So Bob's going to show us what Avax predicts in 2022. So let's go ahead with that, Bob.
Hold on a second. Here are some predictions from Avast about the 2022 security landscape. Working from home and crypto hype to be exploited in 2022. Audio deepfakes, optimized ransomware campaigns, and crypto malware are on the horizon in 2022. As 2021 nears its end, we'd like to examine what the digital landscape of 2022 has in store. In the new year, our team foresees cybercriminals making advancements to ensure the effectiveness of ransomware, a continuation of cryptocurrency scams, heists, and crypto mining malware. We also anticipate attacks abusing companies with work-from-home policies in place. We expect that ransomware gangs will step up their game next year. The U.S. Financial Enforcement Network, FinCEN, reported that the total value of suspicious activity related to ransomware in the first half of 2021 was 30% higher than the amount filed for all of 2020. This year's vital businesses, such as Colonial Pipeline, JBS, one of America's largest beef producers, and Swedish supermarket chain Co-op, were affected by ransomware. Avast researchers predict the global ransomware crisis to deepen in 2022, with further attacks on critical infrastructure, such as aviation. In order to better target businesses, our team believes that cybercriminals offering ransomware as a service will improve affiliate models, including adding ransomware designed for Linux, better payouts, and building upon extortion layers. Furthermore, we expect attacks to be carried out by company insiders. In terms of ransomware attacks against consumers, Avast Research Director Jakob Kraustek says 2 years ago, the most successful ransomware gangs began shifting their focus from spray and pray-like attacks on consumers to focusing on targeted attacks on businesses. We expect this trend to continue, but also anticipate a resurgence of ransomware targeting consumers. The cybercriminals adopting some of the techniques used to attack businesses, like using multiple layers of extortion, such as data exfiltration followed by doxing. In order to do so effectively, a significant amount of automation will be required to identify valuable data, due to the large number of individual targets and their systems being more fragmented data sources. We also wouldn't be surprised if more and more Mac and Linux users were to fall victims to ransomware, as malware authors have begun to consider these platforms when writing their code in order to target a wider audience and thus maximize their profits. Cybercriminals will continue to collect digital currency. With Bitcoin reaching a new all-time high in 2021, we expect a continuation of the use of crypto mining malware, crypto-related scams, and malware targeting cryptocurrency wallets, as well as heists on exchanges in 2022. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin have risen in popularity over the past year, and experts believe their value will continue to rise in the next few years. Cybercriminals go where the money is, and so they will continue to spread mining malware. Malware with wallet content stealing capabilities, scams related to the trend, and will continue to carry out heists on exchanges, says Kraustek. Work from home will keep company doors open for cybercriminals. While some aspects of public life have returned to normal, or at least a hybrid version of what society was pre-pandemic, working from home
is likely to continue. Working from home provides employees and companies benefits. However, poor implementation in terms of network security setups will continue to put companies at risk. Misconfigured VPNs, especially without two-factor authentication, leave businesses particularly vulnerable, as they are basically a locked door protecting extremely valuable information that would be better protected with a second lock or in a safe. This scenario gives cybercriminals easy access into a company's network if they can either get their hands on login credentials or can crack them. Another work from home related risk is employees downloading company data onto their personal devices, which may not have the same level of protection as their company issued devices. Avast experts predict audio deepfakes will be used in spear phishing attacks. Criminals will use deepfake audio to imitate an executive or other employee to convince someone to grant them access to sensitive data or to a company's network. Criminals may have more success with deepfake audio since many people are still working from home. This means that they're unable to see that the person on the phone really is at their desk typing and not on the phone with them. And additionally, they don't have the ability to confirm the person's requests by physically going over to them. Here's some insight into how to protect yourself from attacks going into 2022. No one should assume they are immune to cyber attacks, regardless of the operating system they use and the amount of technical expertise they have. Software producers included, explains Kraustek. Supply chain attacks, like the attack on Kaseya that spread ransomware to its clients, happen time and time again and will continue to occur. It is therefore vital that devices be protected with security software. Patching will continue to be essential when it comes to combating ransomware and other attacks that propagate via unpatched software. Attackers will exploit vulnerabilities more frequently, even for commodity malware like crypto miners. Stick to official sites and app marketplaces when you're downloading software and updates to avoid malware and scams, and be sure to read reviews carefully to catch any red flags. Moreover, avoid clicking on suspicious links, such as links sent from unknown senders, regarding purchases that you didn't make or accounts that you don't have. Look out for any links that don't match the service being referred to in messages. Finally, in terms of actions that police forces can take to combat and eliminate the source of attacks, Avast experts foresee infrastructure as a service to be used more frequently, with malware authors primarily focusing on their malware rather than the infrastructure it lives on. This could allow police to take down infrastructure as a service to dismantle entire malicious operations. It's now time to wave goodbye to 2021 and welcome in 2022. In the new year, we will continue to deliver our commitment to digital freedom, shaping the digital landscape to be a fairer, freer, and more inclusive place for all. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Let's give Bob a round of applause, a virtual applause. That's why I call him my go-to security and Avast expert. He's well known around the nation for these tremendous presentations. You could also see him on Monday. It's a Tech for Senior, is that right, Bob?
That's correct.
And how can they access that?
Easiest way is just do a search for Tech for Senior.
We
And
also
you'll
have,
get to the website.
yep, we also have it on the club site. Let me see if I can share my screen where I'm at. I hope I'm somewhere here. Boy. Not yet. Okay. So you can go to the club site and it's listed there under fantastic finds. One of those links that I have there, and it will take you there. What time do they sign in for that, Bob?
Well, we have a half hour worth of chit chat where people can ask questions or whatever is on their mind. And that starts at 11:30 your time. And then at the noon hour is when the show itself starts. And the show is usually an hour. And then we have a 20-minute question and answer afterwards. But the show itself lasts for just about 60 minutes.
Bob, thanks for your friendship and your support for this entire year. I appreciate it. And for all the years that you come to the club in our classroom and also on Zoom. I just wanted to give you my personal recognition for that. Ada, welcome. You're muted.
Hi, I don't know. I must have done something wrong. I couldn't get on until very late. I apologize.
So what are your plans for the holidays?
Oh, I'm getting my daughter, son-in-law, and 2 adult sons for a week. They'll be here visiting. They run 10 miles a day for a warm-up. They're runners, and they love computers and technology.
Are they from
And
Boston?
my daughter is at ESL. No, this one's Maryland.
Oh, okay.
ESL teacher. So,
Where in-
and my son-in-law is National Geographic vice president.
Where in Maryland?
Silver Spring.
Oh, I know it well. Yeah, I was in Maryland with the Aberdeen Proving Ground for 14 years. I lived in Maryland.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
Very good. What town?
All over. I lived in Baltimore. You can name it. 5 or
Oh,
6
nice.
areas.
Nice.
Okay, let's welcome Neil Fisher.
Yes,
Neil,
hello?
what are
Yes.
what are your plans for the holidays?
Same thing that I always do. It's a Friday night. And going to synagogue and having dinner. Not much I can do.
Okay. How
Hey,
about you?
Neil,
Yeah,
it's Ken Cantor. I know Neil. Neil?
yeah.
Sure. Hi,
Yeah. Hi.
how you doing?
Okay. How are you? And how's Toby?
Fine. Terrific.
Good.
How
Okay.
you doing?
George,
Good.
will you unmute yourself, please? George?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Mhm.
welcome, George. Is this your first time?
Yes, this is my first time. I'm not even sure if I'm doing it right.
You
but,
are. What is your
you
last
are.
name?
Ashian.
Yeah, I just sent you an email this morning because Pete Zambito. Pete, are you there?
Yes, I received your email. It was late for me, so I that's why I got on late.
Okay, well, that's good. Welcome, and I hope you'll continue to be a Zoom member. That's wonderful.
Yes,
Uh,
can you see my my name on the screen?
I see George's iPhone. It hadn't been changed, but
Oh, okay, yeah.
that's why
All
we
I have
say
to
sign
fix
in
that.
with your first name and the first initial of your last.
Right.
Boy, this has been, I'm telling you, I've done 23, I think, Zoom meetings this year. I just flew in from Chicago and boy, are my arms tired. I'm telling you. It's been a educational experience for me as well, because we've learned a great deal from each other. And people keep asking me, are we going back to classes? I said, it's not up to me. It's up to the people who own the Sen Club, who runs the Club Activity Center. There are groups meeting there. Now, they're meeting at their own risk. I would venture to say, by a show of hands, how many of you would be willing to return to the classroom, say in January? See? Under the restrictions, would the restrictions be, we'd have to return where we could be seated without restrictions, We'd have to return where there could be as many people as possible. You couldn't sit 4 people at a table. It would be very difficult. But right now, you can't deny the comfort that you're experiencing at this moment. You can get up in plenty of time to have breakfast, have coffee, and get here in time. You don't have to worry about traffic. You don't have to worry about bad weather. You don't have to worry about unforeseen accidents. You don't have to worry about interruptions from a variety of sources. You can just sit here in the pleasant atmosphere of your own home. Isn't that right, Dorothy?
Right, right.
What are you
I
going to
just
do
want-
over the holidays?
Well, my grandson and granddaughter and great granddaughter are taking me down to Key West. He rented a 2-bedroom house in Kojo Key. So we should have a lovely week down there. And he told me if I'm good, then maybe next year we'll go to Mexico, but I have to be good. So he's not committing to taking me on another vacation until I find out how it works out this time. So it's
I'm
great.
sure it'll be great.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Yeah. And my little great granddaughter is 3 and she's just precious. And so I'm going to have a great time.
Well, people ask me, what are we going to do in 2022? Well, Steve and I are going to be working that out. Steve is our, what are you? Program activity director, right? So we're going to be working on things for you. And starting on January 7th, guess who's coming back? Bob Gastisha, who's going to do a brand new presentation on cyber safety in the digital age. This will be followed on January 21st by Bob Anstead from the Creation Station of Fort Lauderdale, who is going to give a presentation on the metaverse. As you know, that's what Facebook is rebranding itself as. And Bob just told me that they may be delaying it for some time. So whether or not he gives that particular presentation, I'm not sure. I'll be checking with him. So
Marcia has her hand up.
go ahead, Marcia.
I do. It's Helene.
Oh, Helene, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say, I feel, and I don't know how many people agree, that during this pandemic, while we've been meeting on Zoom, I think we've all had a little more interaction with one another rather than just arriving at the activity center and getting right into the class. I think we have a little more interaction with one another. And so we've really been socializing a little bit more, and I like it.
Great. See that, everybody?
Yes, I agree.
From our home to yours,
Yes.
happy holidays and
Thank you.
Merry Hanukkah and Happy Christmas. And
Merry
as we say, Happy Christmaka.
You've coined that.
Yes, absolutely. I've done my best.
Oh.
Well,
Thank you.
it's going to be difficult to to say goodbye, but we have to for next 3 weeks. Yes, anyone have anything to say? Ron? Anything?
Barry? Barry?
Okay,
Ken,
Ken,
Yeah, you said you would speak to me at the end about mass deletion of.
I will. I'll call you on that. I don't
Okay.
have time in the meeting anymore. I will send you some links.
Okay.
Judy Brown. Yes, Judy.
I just wanted to share with you that Broward Center has Kinky Boots on Christmas Day. There's 2 performances. I volunteered there. I've been volunteering there for years. And when you go there, not only are all the volunteers vaccinated, but when you go, you either have to have proof of a recent COVID test or
Okay.
or your vaccination card, and you are masked the entire performance.
Mm.
So people don't feel threatened when they're there. And
Wait
so
a
if you have nothing else planned for Christmas Day, that might be a fun thing to do.
Kinky Boots. I think I saw them in the shoe warehouse the other day.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, no.
But it's a cute show. It's a very cute show.
Okay, anybody else would like to say greetings and to everyone? Say your parting greetings and we'll end the meeting for the next 3 weeks. We'll come
Someone
back.
else has a-
I would,
Happy holidays. Happy
Elaine.
New
Mary,
Year.
thanks very much.
yes.
Thanks very much for the beautiful presentations. Thank you and to your guest speakers.
And thank you for
Happy
sharing.
holidays, everyone.
Dennis, do you have anything to say? Hello,
Elaine.
Dennis?
Helene has her hand up.
Yeah,
Okay,
Helene.
Helene.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I think everybody will join me in thanking Barry for all he's done all year and for working through the pandemic as much as he has, bringing us all together, and we're still learning. And so thank you very much, Barry, for all that you've done.
Well, thank you, all of you,
Barry.
for your love and
Thank you,
support.
Barry.
That make a big deal to me, you know, it's, I just realized I've done, what, 23 Zoom meetings, over 500 hours of classroom instruction in 17 years, and over 35,000 people I've taught or met, coming as repeating or guests or new members. I hope we never forget, you know, that we're always here for you if you need us. I'm only a phone call away or an email away. And love everybody. Wish you the happiest and healthiest and safest holiday season. Say goodbye, and we'll see you on
Next year.
next year, right?
What
Happy-
day is it? What day?
January
January
7th.
January 7th, the first Friday, we will return.
Okay, thank
You'll
you.
have to
Well-
put up with me again.
No problem at all.
Okay,
Glad
It's our
to see you.
pleasure.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Everyone I
Thank you,
haven't
Barry.
talked to, may you be safe and well, and may God bless everybody and keep us healthy and safe.
Bye.
Amen.
Okay.
Thank you
Goodbye.
to meet you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Barry.
Okay.